Hello, I thought I'd share something I've been working on based on a question within the group last week, and I think it was last week. I did a lot of work on it in the first few days after it was asked, and I've only gone back to it this afternoon. And actually, I think I'm at a good level where I've proved everything that was asked for is possible. So it was about SureCart, and I've got my standard demo site here with my standard demo shop with all of my products in it. And the question was about out of stock items. And so, first of all, if I go to the back end of this website and I disable the plugin, and then I click over here and open this tab here, you'll see here we get a standard sold out when a product is out of stock. But obviously, that doesn't help for anyone. No one can get notifications, etc. And that causes issues. And the question was, could we have a notify when back in stock? And the answer is yes, it is possible. I've worked out all the technicalities of doing it. So we can replace those two buttons with this notify me when available button. And if I click this button, it will subscribe me to notifications. And if I go to my dashboard, see here, I get a product alerts that I am currently subscribed to. So that's pretty good. And if I was to open my emails here and go back over here and open my products, and I believe it was the AppSumo product. And if we edit the AppSumo product and we change the stock level to, where's the SDK? There it is. We change it to 2 and save the product. The product's been saved, and at some point we will get a notification to tell us that they're now back in stock. If we were to visit that product, we've already got a notification. So good news, this product is back in stock. I can go to the view product, and I can also unsubscribe to these notifications. Now, by default, I've set this to automatically, let's put this back to 0, remove those notifications once they've been sent. So you see here, I'm no longer subscribed to any notifications, and that's because in the settings, and there are some settings that I've already put into this plugin, they're automatically set to remove once they've sent one in-stock notification. So there's an area in here I can modify that template that was just sent. This is for string translations and updating what's written. So this is for guests, and we'll go through guests in a second. But in behavior here, we've got clear subscriptions after sending one-time alert, and that's checked. And subsequently, the reason we can't see a notification anymore in the dashboard is because we've had one, so it's removed it. If I removed this, it wouldn't do that. It would continue to send them out until I logged in and unsubscribed, or I clicked the link and unsubscribed within the notifications. So if I change this, and if we then go back to our out of stock product, and I do the same again, we're now subscribed again. Go back to our products. Actually, I can just do this because I already saved these so that this was quicker. I can increase the inventory to 2 again, save that product, go back to my dashboard and refresh, and you'll see I still have an AppSumo product here, still have an AppSumo product here, but if I go back to my site, you can see I've now had another second notification. But if I go back to the dashboard, I still have an AppSumo product here. So if I was to then say, oh God, I don't want these anymore, if I unsubscribe and reload my dashboard, I'm now unsubscribed. That's great for logged in users and great for products. For non-logged in users, the default behavior is exactly the same. So that's a normal product now because it's got stuff available. Let's take it back to 0. And actually, I want to use the users to grab whatever email address I signed up with here. And we want to go to our incognito here, refresh. and notify me when available. If I click on the button, it will then send me to log in, which I can do. Like so, and I can now subscribe to that notification here, and that's ready and done. I'm going to remove that so I don't get multiple of them here. We can also enable it so it works slightly different for logged out users. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my dashboard and log out, like so, and I'm going to head back to the plugin settings, and I'm going to enable this other option in behavior called in guests, allow logged in users to subscribe using their email address. And this is much more like what you'd be used to seeing when you subscribe and you're not a user. I'm not a big fan of it because of the spam potential, but it is quite common in setting up of online stores. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our site. We're going to go to the OSS product, and it's now out of stock, and we've got an email box. So test@.dev. If I push notify, it won't be when available. Almost done. Check your email to confirm your notification request. That's because I've turned double opt-in in. You'll see in the settings here, I've turned required double opt-in. And we should get an email telling us confirm our subscription. We're now confirmed. And that's it. We will now get a confirmation email when that's back in stock. So if we now go back in stock with our product, and actually before I do that, I want to just change the behavior here to clear subscription on sending. And so if we now save our product, we will eventually get a notification to tell us it's back in stock. And here you go, straight away, back in stock. And it is back in stock, and that is to our test address that we just put in, not our customer address. And that's all now done. So that was the bulk of what was requested. One of the other things that was requested was about the ability to do categories. And categories was much harder because of the logic of how it worked. But the good thing is, again, SureCart is WordPress native. WordPress native is just a bunch of meta. And as long as you can pull that meta and process that meta, you can do pretty much anything you like with it. So again, back to the plugin settings here. And I believe it's in behavior. If we enable collection subscriptions, we can do exactly the same with collections. Now, collections has its own notification down here, and it works exactly the same way as other items. So if I go to the products page here, and I just want to see what's in what collection here. That's not in a collection. This one's in the collection of 2. So whenever a product comes back in stock for 2, we will get a notification for it. So if I now subscribe to 2 here, so if I click on 2 and open it in the front end, we will get the ability to notify me when available for the product, or notify me when the collection's available, as in the collection 2, notify for me for this collection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my products. I've got this second item in 2. I'm going to change this to 0. Like so. And what I'm going to do then is just change that to 2. And the reason I've done that is because it's a totally different product to the one we actually subscribed on. So showing that we're subscribing to the category and not to individual products. So we have our notification. and 111 is back in stock for 2. The product is part of 2, view product, or again, I can unsubscribe. So it is very possible to do it. It's a lot of code. It's a lot of moving parts, but because again, SureCart is WordPress native, it is entirely possible to merge those together and create some sort of working plugin for, or script or whatever snippet to actually have notifications for when goods turn back in store. Thanks for watching.